All right, episode 3, Hail Mary. All right, so we've got Lexi, who is withdrawing off of her drugs, and she's trying to wean herself off. So it does seem that she is trying to quit, which is good.
Yeah.
All right, but she's, of course, doing it herself. And that's not advisable, but I think she just doesn't want to admit she has the problem or get caught that she had the drugs in the first place or whatever. But she's down to like a half of a tab that she's breaking into a fourth. Even though she loses a part of it in this, it's like, what's your plan after that one? Because you're not done.
Right, yeah, she still would need more. I think she feels a bit of like guilt and shame too, of course, for being addicted.
Yeah. Do you think her addiction is going to play into this season as far as like her ability to be manipulated or even drugged?
Definitely manipulated. I could totally see Chucky kind of like, holding drugs over her. Especially, because she finds the drugs that Trevor plants in her room, and she totally pockets those really fast. So she's gonna be taking those pills.
I mean, if he planted them, she should have just waited, and then it would have grown way more drugs.
That's how that works.
How that works. That's totally how that works.
Totally how that works.
Okay, so a little bit of bullshit here. And it's a show about a killer doll who's possessed by voodoo and whatever. So, of course, this is so small in comparison. But Father, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is.
Yeah, Devon Sawa's character.
Yes.
He's actively looking for this doll, which he wants returned to him promptly. Which, of course, then reminds me very much of Child's Play 3. That being said, he's looking for this doll. They do inspections on the room, and he has his suspicions of who took it. In fact, he's outright, accusing them specifically. It has to be back on my desk, and you could just chalk this up to he wants them to make the right decision, right? Kind of thing. But he didn't go check their room.
Yeah,
where the doll is literally tied up in the middle of the room, and Jake and Devin are sitting there talking for a minute, and they're like, we've had him tied up in here for days.
Yeah.
It's like, he's been tied to that chair right there in the middle of your room. They're looking for that doll.
Yeah.
They didn't come into your room to look for him, never once. In a room where they have surprise inspections like a prison?
Yeah.
Come on. That's super far-fetched.
It is. Especially, all the surprise inspections that they do. There's no way. But I think, like
Wouldn't that be the first place he'd go look?
100%. But I think, like you said, we'll just chalk it up to he wants them to, of their own free will, make the right choice.
Yes.
That's the only explanation that would work.
Yes.
And it's a flimsy one.
Very. So that had me rolling my eyes a bit.
Yeah.
But, you can't torture someone who's into it.
Nope.
Try to
a sadist?
get under Chucky's nails, which they're not really nails, but I don't know if he has working organs.
Yeah.
But does he have like nerve endings under his like little rubber fingernails?
I don't know.
Does he feel pain like the rest of us?
In Bride of Chucky, he has sex.
Sure, anatomically correct.
So, if he can feel that, I don't know why he couldn't feel pain, but I think that he's just a sadist. And
another cat fight.
Likes it. No, hopefully not.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
No.
Yep, there it is. That's it. She just loves to just do the little, and then she's gone.
Aww.
So, yeah, anyway, I don't know. He has a nervous system and everything. Whether or not he has nerves in the right place doesn't really matter. He seems to be into it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So what they decide to do instead is they decide to clockwork orange his ass into showing him clips from frickin'
All
we
kinds of
had
things.
The Thing,
Yeah, The
obviously,
Thing.
is the most noticeable one. Psycho
Yep.
2 or 3. I couldn't tell because I've seen Psycho 3 a lot. And I'm trying to remember who falls off. It's the second one. Yeah, it's the second one. So anyway, there was a couple others. But
There's a couple others that
completely escaping my memory now of what it was. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he shows them a whole bunch of violence, and Chucky's like, pass the popcorn.
Oh, man.
But after a while, I don't know how long this goes on, but for hours and hours, there's some conversion therapy going on here, which is ironic from homosexuals. But
Seriously?
they are, trying to convert him over, because this is similar to conversion therapy. Like you show them homoerotic porn, and then you make them sick,
Right.
and then their brain starts to associate illness, like being sick to your stomach, with homosexual thoughts. So yeah, they show Chucky this stuff, and what happens?
And he starts to vomit. He gets sick. This scene made me laugh a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny seeing him with his like eyeballs, like his eyelids peeled back, a la Clockwork Orange. And then after he gets sick, then they switch over to phase 2, which was great because Nadine puts on.
Hey, Bean.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Bean.
Oh.
Get lost.
That noise. Nadine puts on like some unicorn like kids show jingle thing, which he immediately vomits upon seeing. But then after hours and hours of watching it, Chucky is a new doll.
Yeah.
He is changed.
Yeah. And I mean, it definitely seems like he changed, right? And when he went back to the dude's office, I was like, oh, that's the good one for sure. He wants to help them not get in trouble. Are we just gonna fight
Hold on.
all night? Is that what's the plan here?
Hey, get over here.
So you get a little extra here. You get a free fight.
No,
It's pay-per-view.
it's not. It's not happening.
Ridiculous.
I'm shutting it down.
We have
No
we have a
fights.
cat that lives outside, sort of. It's not our cat.
No.
But it's a neighbor cat. It's a beach cat.
It's a
Go
beach
away, beach cat.
It's an abandoned cat that one of our old neighbors like just left here when they moved away.
Yeah.
And so it hangs out around here because this is its home and we feed it here and there. And our cat does not get along with the outdoor cat. So.
Anyway, yeah, so they're probably going to still fight. They usually are over it quick. This is the longest I've seen them go at it, which is silly. But yeah, I mean, Chucky's changed. And he even does the right thing and returns himself so Jake and Devin aren't going to be in trouble anymore.
Yeah.
Now, Devin and Jake are caught red-lipped.
Yes, they are, which we knew was coming. We knew that was going to happen. Obviously, they're at a Catholic, school for wayward children. There's no way that their, sexuality isn't going to be brought to light.
Yeah.
And yeah, it comes to light this episode.
Sure. And he's punishing them, but he does not expose that he knows yet. But of course, that is coming eventually.
Yeah.
And while Chucky's being reprogrammed, he direct quotes Child's Play 1.
Yeah.
Aunt Maggie, Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock news. Which was really interesting to hear, because that's a line from Andy as a child so many years ago. So he's regressed back basically to his genesis.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is within days of when he becomes the doll.
Yeah.
And we don't make reference to the first film much anymore in this series. This series is much more tightly connected to Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, outside of course, like Andy popping up a little bit throughout the show. But it is more focused on the comedic tone. Tiffany, now Glenn, which we didn't get to see Glenn or Glenda, or Glenda and Glenda in this at all, or Tiffany, or Jennifer Tiff.
Yeah, Jennifer Tiffy.
Or Nika, or any of that stuff.
No.
So that's been completely sidelined after Tiffany killed that detective. So we completely they leave us off on this Glenn and Glenda cliffhanger, and then here we are in this episode, and it's like, nope. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. How'd you feel about Sweet Chucky?
I was obsessed with Sweet Chucky. Specifically, I was obsessed with Nadine and Sweet Chucky. I wanted them to be like best friends, and I thought that the whole scene with them was really adorable. Nadine this episode too is just like,
she's so wonderful.
Oh my god, she's so amazing. But Sweet Chucky, it's weird. It definitely is like, it's strange to see him being like genuinely sweet when he's so evil, because all the times that we see him sweet throughout the franchise is when he's like trying to, fool somebody, and it's only for a second. So seeing him act this way for so long was, it was weird. It's like when somebody shaves their beard, like, and you haven't seen their unshaved face for so long, and you're like, whoa, that's what you look like underneath that.
Have I ever shaved since we've been together?
You have. You shaved one time, actually. Right when I moved here.
I think I remember that. Okay.
I love how you look without a beard.
What Chucky actually reminds me of, this is kind of weird, but what he reminds me of in this episode when he becomes Sweet Chucky is Chucky from the remake, where he's all Mr. Sweet Guy, before, of course, he ends up going evil and killing. You are my buddy.
Oh man, that song.
You're my best friend. Which, of course, I'm not a fan of at all.
No.
But it just reminded me of that doll a bit. But yeah, I mean, we'll get to the ending and the what happened potentially to Chucky. Hopefully we'll see. We'll talk about it. Anyway, I like how Nadine is telling the father that she's going to need like 45 minutes for her confession, and he's like needing to drink, and he's like trying to dodge her as much as he can, and then she goes in there, and she's in there for maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe
so
less?
Short. It's so short.
I was just like, 45 minutes? Did we like cut around all of what she was saying? Because I was expecting them to do those like, fade cuts.
You're right.
Where she's talking and talking and talking, and he's sitting in there and just drinking more and more. You pointed out the funny part that she, when the rosary beads break, she's kleptoing
she
them.
She steals some of them,
because she's a kleptomaniac.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. And now, Devon Sawa's father, whatever the hell. I can't believe we can't think of this guy's name. We're terrible with names.
So bad with names.
Bad.
We misnamed a character from Dahmer. Well, I did, but then you went along with it.
I went along with it because I was like, oh, she knows. Cool.
We're bad with names.
But as soon as you said it, I was like, is that really it? And I even say that in the video. I'm like, is it? Oh, what's her? Oh, okay. And I just go on. And I'm in my head going, oh.
Father Thomas? No.
I don't care.
Father John?
So he's talking to Devon in front of Sister Catherine, who we've heard her name like twice, and somehow I remember that.
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter. She's in there in this like teacher's lounge, and he's talking about basically like sins and past indiscretions and all this stuff, and he's like, Sister Catherine would know all about that, which I can only assume that's gotta play into this, because why mention such a thing?
Yeah, totally.
Makes me wonder if he's alluding to her homosexuality at one point, and that she's been converted, because he is referencing Devon's homosexuality and basically like, this chick could relate. So I wonder if she'll be like an ally.
I feel that she is an ally to the kids so far, just because she seems
She's the Mrs. Honey.
Yes.
The Miss Honey, sorry,
Yeah,
from Matilda.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what that. I don't know what he's alluding to. I think that's a good hypothesis, though. That perhaps, but there's obviously
maybe something else.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for now.
I mean,
because we're not given much.
no, we're not.
We do get Lexi and Nadine bonding here, which of course completely goes against what Lexi was telling Nadine, not just like an episode ago.
Right.
Like, we're never going to be friends. And then 2 seconds later, they're like holding hands in the bathroom and cuddling with bears together. So that went quick.
Yes.
I will say Trevor's demise came out of left field for me when it comes to like where in the series he died. I mean, I definitely figured he would die eventually. But I did not think it was going to be this quick.
Yes, it was unexpected for sure. I mean, all of his death. I was not expecting him to have like a Chucky doll ripped through his chest.
No.
That was like a little jaw-dropping moment. But I definitely thought he was going to be more of a burden and irritation for Lexi, like a trigger for her.
Yeah.
But he's dead. So, and I am like, what are they going to do with the body? Like, that to me is like the huge thing with this episode is like, I mean, they hit it, like, what are they going to do with it? Where are they going to put it?
And I also like that Nadine's, personality traits that the people who work at the school are clearly irritated by. The priest that's supposed to take her confession, and then the school nurse who also teaches auto or whatever, she comes in and they're able to kind of get away with it in that moment because Nadine is being her typical overtly annoying self, and she's just like, never mind, you guys are good, and like leaves. So I like that she kind of gets to exploit her superpower, which is how annoying she appears to some adults.
Yes.
And a lot of people,
Yeah.
I guess, but not to us.
No, we love her.
Maybe if she was in our life, we'd be like, shut up, you little annoying shit.
No way.
But in the show, in small doses.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's great.
And then we talk about the elephant in the room, the doll that's as strong as an elephant, who I have now named Buffy.
Yes, he is Buffy.
Buffy the doll.
What the fuck? He is so
Buffy the
ripped.
Trevor Slayer.
Buffy the Trevor Slayer?
Yeah,
Oh my
what
God.
is this?
When he walks in with his swagger.
Yeah, his shirt's ripped open to
show
expose
his muscles.
Yeah.
And he's like, I never skip arm day. His voice is deeper too.
Yeah.
All of it is like, I just am. But that's cool to me because I don't know that we sort of get that the Chuckies have like certain personality traits that are maybe a little more prominent. Like, this isn't a personality trait, so this is also physical characteristics that I'm talking about. But the bald Chucky, right in the beginning. So we got that there was going to be some differences, but I really like that there's going to be like a strong Chucky, and then there's going to be some weird geeky mastermind, like nerdy Chucky kind of a thing. And I really like that. I think that'll be a very fun trope to play with, and it'll be cool to see what other ones are out there.
Yeah. Now, how Chucky got himself buff?
I don't know.
Steroids?
He never skips arm day.
He injected himself with steroids and is working out all the time?
Yeah.
He's superhuman strong, though.
Yes.
Like, even freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, the dude who plays the Mountain in Game of Thrones, like, that dude could not punch through your chest, right? Like, you can punch him, he could probably collapse your chest if he hit you hard enough. But he couldn't punch through your chest, through your spinal column, everything, and rip out your heart all in one go. That's just not possible.
Yeah.
Right? And this is a doll.
Yeah.
Who's even smaller than any of these dudes in the biggest dudes in the world could be. So he has superhuman voodoo doll strength on top of being, Rambo Chucky. So I'm not sure if they'll explain it, why he's buff, whatever. I don't know. At this point in the show, you kind of just accept whatever's going on. Like, okay, we're doing buff Chucky now.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's funny.
I think it's so funny. I'm on board with it. They can show me any kind of Chucky version out there, and I'll accept it with open arms. So,
what do you think is... Now, we leave it off on a cliffhanger here. On Buff Chucky going after the good guy.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think that he's going to kill him?
Maybe. But I don't know. Maybe not.
I highly doubt it. Only because why introduce that into the show if you're not going to do more with it?
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible they could take another one and brainwash him the same way he did, but it's like kind of just, filling up time in the show just to have the same outcome. So, and the buff Chucky cannot pose as nice guy, good guy Chucky.
At all.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, he's buff. He's clearly a different doll. So it's not like they're going to flip it out like they did with Tommy.
Right.
In Child's Play 2 or something. He's not going to be able to do that.
No.
So, and the doll needs to remain in the office as well. So, I think he'll beat him up a little bit, and then he'll get like caught, and he'll have to like run out of the room, and it'll be like, I'll be back for you. And then, because I do think that, that good Chucky is going to remain specifically for the fact that Lexi and Nadine and, Devin and Jake all think that he killed Trevor. And when they find out that the other father is dead as well, they're gonna be like, you let Lexi, and there's gonna be some rifts between them now because Lexi has this drug addiction that Nadine is privy to, and she's gonna be talking to Jake and them about it because she can't hold a secret. And they're gonna be like, you're a loose end, and we can't trust you right now, and that's going to create a division between them, right? So you're going to have that kind of stuff probably going on, and then they're all going to be convinced that the good Chucky is bad, and so they're going to be going after him, and he's going to be trying to tell them like, no, I'm good Chucky, like I didn't do anything, and they're like, yeah, who did? So I think that's what's going to be in the next episode, but who knows, because with the Glenn or Glenda thing, it didn't come in the next episode. So
no, I think you're ultimately right. I don't think he's gonna die right away, but he very well probably will die, in some type of sacrificial,
I want so badly
kind of a thing.
Want so badly for them to have a good guy Chucky
100%
on the team.
Yes, I love it.
I would be so into that.
Yes.
I would be so into them having one on their side.
Yeah.
And he's that flipped freaking K2SO from Rogue One or whatever, where they just have the, reprogrammed typical villain character who's on their side. I love that character. Me too. So give me that for sure. I want him to be part of the crew where they actually trust him.
Oh my gosh,
and he becomes like an integral part of their crew. To have a funny sidekick Chucky who's actually like a good guy fighting against bad Chuckies. Oh my god. Yes. Give that to me all day.
Yes, me too. I love it so much.
So if he dies in the beginning of the next episode, like they find that he's gone, I'm gonna be super bummed.
Me too.
Because they set up something here that I never ever knew I needed.
But now that you got a taste, you're like, I need
I never expected that to happen in a million years. I never even thought of it as an option.
No, I didn't either, which is funny because like it feels like a really good, obvious option.
Sure.
So I really hope that he doesn't die right away, but I do feel like he might die in the show. like
But
at
wait.
least at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, but wait away.
Don't do it.
Wait a
next
while.
Episode. It doesn't
Right?
matter. They already filmed it.
He can become like the Rocket of the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the little shit talking, funny side character who's just, oh man, they could do so much with this character. So I really, really hope they don't blow that opportunity and they stick with good guy Chucky. And that's what they need to call him.
Good guy
Right?
Chucky.
He's the good guy Chucky.
Yeah.
He's a literal good guy doll. So yeah, anyway, Glenn or Glenda next week, I have to imagine.
Hopefully.
I may have read this wrong, but we'll see in the next, whenever we see them, but I think it's one actor that's playing Glenn and Glenda.
That's what I thought as well, but I truthfully haven't been looking at too much of that stuff because I don't want to have anything spoiled for me.
Sure.
If there are,
Sure.
any spoilers like with Nadine or anything, like I don't know. I still obviously we talked about it in the last episode.
I don't have that suspicion anymore.
You don't.
No.
I don't know. I still feel like something could happen, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Glenn and Glenda is played by one actor, but that would be cool if they are.
Or twins. Either way.
Or twins.
Doesn't really matter.
I just want to see them.
Yes.
I'll
So,
parablaze them.
Anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
Not a ton to talk about, but really cool things happen.
Yes.
And really cool setups for the future. So please don't kill good guy Chucky. Please don't do that. Make him a sidekick character that they finally have to he slowly works his way into their trust, and then he becomes like one of the crew. And he's like there for a couple seasons.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it so much.
I would love that so much too.
Oh man.
So let us know what you think. Are you a fan of good guy Chucky? Would you like to see more of him as part of the crew? Do you think that you could beat Buff Chucky in an arm wrestling competition? Anyway, guys, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.